You know, Darkthrone have had some really cool names leading up to this, but I still think this is one of their, like, coolest. I mean, what the hell? This is the 20th studio-length album by the Norwegian black metal band Darkthrone. Notorious for making some of the most classic black metal records and well-respected and acclaimed in the entire genre, but later down the line decided that in the 2000s they wanted to turn their attention to classic speed metal, heavy metal, and a lot of other influences coming from punk and doom and sludge, kind of taking their style and taking their roots and mixing it in with all of these styles, and this is very apparent in their last 3 or 4 releases. Eternal Hells was really good, wasn't a big fan of Old Star, and Astral Fortress was pretty okay, even though I didn't talk about it on this channel. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you guys. I fucking love this thing. I think in the recent era of like this heavy metal and speed metal worship of Darkthrone, this has some of my favorite Darkthrone material in a very long time. Some of the most catchiest, well-produced, and well-executed music that the duo has come out with. The main riff on In That Moment I Knew the Answer has been sticking with me so hard, and it automatically makes you understand what you're in for with this record, and that is a treat. Same with the great production that pops up on Black Dawn Affiliation. It really does sell sort of the dark incantation of Darkthrone's music. The production on this thing just impresses me really bad. It's probably the thing that sticks out the most to me across this thing. The way they never become too overproduced or stray too far from their roots, but everything still pops and is so audible, so crisp in the mix, so fucking well balanced. This record, for being very catchy, still captures the doom and gloom of their modern style, and in my personal opinion might be the best combination of their influences that they've done in the past 4 or 5 studio links. Nocturno and Fenriz just continue to worship at the fucking altar of like gloomy, dreary, rock and roll drenched in speed metal influence. It's just so awesome. I love how the eeriness of their black metal still comes through, and honestly, like, some of the techniques that they use on a track like Eon 3, just the background vocals that are just hanging and looming over this mix. These faded out vocals are just like dripping with nostalgia, and it reeks of some of the most like nostalgic heavy metal of like the 1970s. And some of the way that these like riffs come about and the vocals come about almost reminded me of like classic Merciful Fate. And even though I prefer the instrumental on this thing a lot more than the vocals, because I think on repeated listens it can wear a tad bit thin, it's still awesome. They know when to tone it back, they know when to gallop into a really great main riff line, but I still think my favorite parts are the more evil sounding riffs, because I think that's where Darkthrone really peaks. And honestly, if you are someone that has been interested in and has enjoyed Darkthrone's recent material over their past 3 records, this is very much more of the same, but I just think they have fine-tweaked a lot of their kinks out of their sound to really flesh it out in the best possible way that they can. And there's such a thing as flag bearing, standard bearing for the past, that can sometimes feel a little gratuitous and like you're just trying to reach for the nostalgia and vintage nature of it. But Darkthrone do not and have never suffered from that issue. Maybe they felt a little bit more amateur in the 2000s when they were still trying to figure out what direction they wanted to take their music in, but once they have settled into this, you can tell, and it bleeds through the influence of how much love and passion they have for the genres that they are borrowing from. It's intelligent, it's meticulous, it's well crafted, but it's very catchy without sacrificing their initial roots of black metal, either from a production department or some of the ways vocals come about, or a certain riff line being very evil in the way it comes across. You can tell that they give many shits about where they came from, what they are borrowing from, and they pay the utmost respect to making sure that it has the highest form of quality for what they are producing, and I really like this album a lot. I guess the only thing is that it is a little basic by Darkthrone standards in recent memory, but even then, there are going to be very few albums that hit this stride in the same way, and some of the vocals can come off a little over the top and not pan out the way that they theatrically were intended to on a track like Eon 3, but ultimately, I'm going to be giving this album an 8 out of 10. I love the hell out of it. And that is a wrap. You can let me know down in the comment section below what you thought of it. I can't wait to discuss this record with you, agree or disagree. That's fine, there is no wrong answer. Be sure to like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is, my name is Jay Morris, and I'm signing off saying farewell.